And today, as you can see, I get to interview below here the visionary founder, James Kapicka of Moksha, the yoga board game. And you can see here, this is such a gorgeous, beautiful looking game. And today we're going to get into why a yoga board game and what is it that you can experience when you think about what moksha means, which is liberation in life. And so we welcome you. We invite you. This is a live streaming podcast. And so we encourage you to comment, ask a question. As we know, sharing is caring. So hit that share button. And for the algorithms to make sure that other people are aware of the yoga board game, you can simply comment with an emoji. And I want to make sure that all of you know that there is a crowdfunder happening right now where you can get your first edition copy of Moksha, the yoga board game, by going to yogaboardgame.com. It's that easy. And for myself, as always, you can check me out on all the socials, all the places and spaces, DTO Music, dtomusic.com. And thank you for being here. So James Kapicka and I, we met in the festival scene. We had first of all, Himalaya was teaching a class at Bhakti Fest, Shakti Fest, and Joshua Tree. And so that's how James first met Himalaya. And then when we had the online Lucidity Festival, I know it was a wild and wacky time in human history that there was actually an online festival. And when we got to meet during that, we kept the brotherhood and the connection alive. And James taught a class online. I was there to support with the soundtrack music. And of course, when the festival scene came back full-fledged in 2022, we got to meet in person, got to hang out, even got to stay in his trailer, which is a next level of intimacy. And this has been an amazing journey and process. So my marketing team, everythingisperfect.com, specifically creative, Tiffany, she has been the creative director and the designer, along with James' support and my support to make sure that this board game, as you can see, is so gorgeous. You can see how colorful it is. And it is a way for us to gamify our lives. And for a lot of us that are on the journey of yoga, this is the yoga board game you've been waiting for. So without further ado, let's have James speak into this. Here he is, James Kapicka. Thanks for being here.
Hey, Dave. Thanks so much for having me. Feels really good to be here.
Yeah, and you're the first guest ever I've had that's in a sauna. So let's start with that.
I live in a community of 12 people, so there's not a lot of places where I can guarantee sound control. The sauna is close to the Wi-Fi and allows me a little insulation from the construction and the dogs and all of the humans coming and going. So glad to be here. Thanks, Dave.
Yeah, you're welcome. Grateful that you're here. And as you can see behind you, Moksha, yogaboardgame.com. Check it out, everyone.
It's pretty exciting. And yeah, I appreciate you commenting about how beautiful it is. Tiffany, part of your team, has done so much with the graphics to bring the energy of all the content into a visual representation. And it feels really good.
Mm-hmm. Yes. We're all here to live a colorful life, and why not play a game that's colorful and exciting and actually goes really deep into the practice that goes beyond the asana practice. So we're going to get into that in a little bit. And this is a 5Q interview. So let's kick it off with question number 1, which is about the origin story. So when did you begin your yoga journey?
It's a great question. It's a bit of a challenging one to put a starting point, in that I think we all come into the world with the template that led to the old sages finding the yoga path. Meaning, I guess I had some disposition to aspects of the yoga practice since I was really young. I loved doing arm balances and holding my breath and breath work in general. I grew up in a pretty religious home, so the idea of a soul or what happens after you die was a pretty hot topic. And so the template was already there to be considering, I guess, the meaning of life and what consciousness was and this experience of being alive. And I think I found yoga really attractive from a distance when I first noticed a yoga studio, and I was busy being a punk rocker, just wondering what it was and curious about what was happening in this mysterious space. But really, I'd say the yoga practice first showed up with Ram Dass and his Be Here Now book that's been so influential for millions of people. I found it along with a best friend. We discovered it about 20 years old, and would spend like evening after evening reading little discourses and getting into long conversations. And so it introduced me to a lot of the ideas of Eastern traditions, of Hindu traditions, of understanding the world in a different way. And I'd say Ram Dass was a big catalyst to that. After that, reading the Bhagavad Gita, kind of obsessively for several years before I actually found the asana practice and started bridging together the physical practice of yoga with India's philosophical tradition, which was a big jump, because for me, I was spending a lot of time in my head and trying to understand things, and getting into asana and like this practice of tantra that we do in the West through the yoga practice. It's kind of this awakening and integrating of my practice from something that I understood to something that I embodied. Yeah, that's my answer.
Fantastic. And I love how everyone's journey into this practice is so unique, and absolutely Ram Dass, Be Here Now. That's
yeah. I was really